of content on there.
Started saying how like there's all these men on LinkedIn always trying to like hit her up, and I've actually heard that from a lot of women that just LinkedIn, they get hit up all the time being asked out on LinkedIn, and they're like, we could benefit off that, in a way. Yeah, so it's up to you. But first of all, don't use LinkedIn as a dating app. It doesn't make sense. It always leads to sexual harassment. It's
okay.
There's been stories from my own circles. It's like the way it happens is, I see you're looking for a job here. How about we get to know each other better personally?
That's creepy.
And so it's. Listen, you want to do that?
That's creepy because the lady shows up thinking it's about a business opportunity or a job opportunity, and you're just trying to slang dick. Yeah, it's just not right. It's just wrong.
It's just the insinuation.
It's wrong.
It's vague though, because you're like. If this was happening on Instagram, you would know the intention already.
Oh, this is a headline right here that you and I are going to talk about.
You open it up.
We'll get to hold on.
But like LinkedIn, you already have the assumption this is a professional platform. So even if there was an insinuation of like, hey, let's get to know each other better, and you might think weirdly of it, you might still think, okay, maybe I will go on that because it is a professional platform, and they wouldn't hit me up about romantic things on LinkedIn, right? That's where it gets tricky. Because then there's this argument where they say, oh, but you went on that date though, so you are partly responsible. No, but there was an insinuation, but it came through LinkedIn.
She went for a business opportunity.
Yeah, because it came through LinkedIn.
Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah. Brilliant segue.
All right, good.
Talking about dating, Netflix
Yeah.
has a new dating series called Sexy Beats, and it's all about personality. So watch this. They've ordered 2 seasons of this show. It's a show where people show up in animal makeup and prosthetics. They look like animals. Okay.
Oh, man.
And then they have to. It's a blind date in the sense that you don't know who it is, you don't know the person, but you can't see the person too because they're in a costume.
Yeah.
And then you're just supposed to date. The single person will only see the real face of their chosen match after they've made their pick.
This is
okay. Each episode will feature a single person who's looking for someone with a great personality. They are presented with 3 potential love matches who are all disguised by the makeup. The single person will only see the real face of their chosen match after they've made their pick. It's based on a British series. Of course, the British came up with this. They're nuts. And then the first 6-part season of episodes will be released on Netflix July 21st globally. The second season will be released later this year. 48 different makeup creations in all. This is the trailer. Jesus Christ, this is nuts.
I've seen the trailer actually because
have you?
It's funny you brought this up, and I'm
like
happy you did because apparently this is very, very relevant and very current. Because I've seen a lot of people like that do content and podcasters and stuff now talk about it.
It is very relevant and current because people have been talking about, like also with those dating apps. Like people have been talking. I think there are some that are trying this about making dating apps that don't focus too much on people's looks, but more on like the conversation first and then. So it's an interesting. Well, what's your stance? Because this girl is. I mean, my issue is this is a rabbit.
Yeah.
I don't feel.
So you're gonna get some.
Yeah, but I don't want to sit across from a rabbit.
What if the show attracts people like that get on the show that are into animals? That's illegal, right?
Okay.
So
I don't know how you made that.
But and there's also the furries. The furries, the fetish.
Bestiality.
No. There's a whole other subculture of humans that are into like dressing up as like just in these costumes, these furry animals, and Well,
I'm sure that the casting takes care of that. I'm sure that the casting
I'd hope
properly vets and filters who they get it.
But I don't know. It's all about ratings. But I mean, the concept is not that new because I mean the animal thing is, but like dating in the dark or something like that. What's it called? Where people like have their dates, they don't see each other. It's in the dark, and they just have conversations, and then at the end you sort of they turn the lights on.
Love is Blind. You the one show on Netflix, Love is Blind.
Is that where they actually wore the blindfolds?
No, that's where they were behind. Like you had to spend, you were behind a door, and you had to sort of talk to them. I mean,
I don't get the whole. Why they have to make it this weird? Like this.
That's my point.
Is it
because like
shock value?
It's the prosthetics. Like they look like proper animals. Hold on, I won't put. I'll turn off the sound.
You know how bad Cats was, the movie?
That's what this looks like.
Exactly, because
look
the animation
at this.
looks. But this doesn't look like. Are these?
This is creepy.
So these are costumes and not because when I saw it first, I was like, "This is CGI." Or this is
no, it's prosthetics, makeup and prosthetics. So like proper,
So
they do in movies also. They still do that in some movies, not only CGI.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's mad.
"You moving mad, bruv." That's what they would say.
It's their show.
Yeah, I know. They
This
moving
is
mad.
just, it's just unappealing to look at this.
Dude, this would, so for me, this would take away from the whole thing. I would be turned off.
That's my issue. It's like it's weird. It's,
Or listen to me. It could work the other way around in the placebo way, where like you're already turned off the whole time, but you like this person's conversation, and then your expectations are already so low. You've just been seeing this ugly ass fucking Darth Vader.
Oh, but they really go out. They really go out. Like they don't go on proper dates.
No, so like
so it's not
once
just a
it
dinner.
goes
They
off,
go to like an event. They
at
go to like an event, an activity. So I saw one. They went to a theme park. Okay, that's different. That's a little different then.
Yeah, but maybe it's like it plays off the fact that once it goes off, you're like, oh, there's no way this person is gonna be uglier than the costume. So you're always gonna be pleasantly surprised, no matter who shows up under that mask. You know what? It's already 100 times better than that whole like married at first sight bullshit concept. Because there you're fucking with people's lives.
I mean,
It's like marriage is a whole other thing. You get in this legal thing.
I mean, it's fucking
Arrangement.
dumb, right? I don't know who came up with that. So I don't even know how it works. So they go like a computer program just says, "Yo, you're compatible," and then you just show up, pop up with at the church, or you just get married. Let's go.
So we were flipping
Smart.
channels the other day, me and my housemate, and we came through the Australian one. We came across that, and once it got to the first commercial, we're like, "Yeah, fuck this. We're not gonna go through this whole commercial thing to watch it." The first beginning of it was like, there's a house, and all these women keep joining at different times at the same night, and they all start socializing and drinking together and getting drunk, and and they're like explaining why they're looking for a husband, and then the same thing for the men. Then they have a man's house and everything. By the way, the funniest thing is like the biggest contrast. You see the men's house like 3 hours later, because we skipped all commercials, went to this other show, and then went back, and of course, because there's so many commercial breaks, eventually we're still on that fucking program. We're at the point where like the men have been hanging out for like 3 hours in the house, and then the women have been drinking, hanging out for 3 hours in the house. They go to the men's house. They're all best friends, and they're all like, oh shit, laughing together, banter, networking, and everything. They flip to the women's house, and they're all like, there's a fight going on. This woman's like, oh, I didn't think you should have been this blunt and told her this and that. It's like, how do you even... In 3 hours of socializing and having a happy time, women always find a way to fight each other. And the men are always best friends. It's interesting contrast. But I think so...
What is your stance on this? Like, is it okay? I get it's a concept, cool, but what's in general? Like, if you're dating, what's the issue with the looks playing a role?
Yeah,
what's the problem with that?
This is an age-old question, right? That
like it seems like there's more and more of a push of like, oh well, we need to find a way to not focus on looks. And I'm like, well, I think we should.
Yeah.
And
I think
from what I can see, also they all got good-looking people still.
They casted
good-looking people to wear prosthetics. You can see it. You watch. So I'm like, okay, dude. Like, I've been saying they should do a dating show. Look, watch this now. And if you want to cut this out, we cut it out because it's a genius. It's a genius idea. Maybe we want to keep it for ourselves.
Okay. Oh, like that. Okay. Maybe then cut it out.
Yeah, so we can keep for ourselves. But what I've been saying is there has to be a dating show, right? For fat people.
Oh. Yes. Yeah, but
start a dating show for fat, but then really like drive it home like Temptation Island, like a Love Island, something like that. But then they're all fat,
bro.
You
mentioned this before, and
that's what it would work. I don't know why no one's doing it. It would work.
I think, yeah,
it would work.
Because my first issue would be
heavy love.
People
is the name.
A lot of people are in denial about being fat. How fat do you have to be? How much do you have to weigh? Do you have like weight categories like in fighting? Do you have like you have the heavyweights and the super heavyweights, and then I don't know. I think it's a good concept, but at the same time,
I think you should be visibly heavy,
most people
but still able to walk.
It's not like Wall-E.
Well, not like my 600-pound life. Not them niggas.
Okay, yeah.
not
so you mean
them man?
So
they can't get up out of it.
What's the BMI?
We're gonna get killed. But that can't, not the ones that can't get up out of a chair. I mean the ones that can still get up and walk and do their thing.
Yeah, of course. Okay, yeah. You don't want to be like dragged to the altar on a stretcher like this.
Yeah, no, but
at the end of the show,
let them fucking do their thing.
Yeah.
They have a dating show for people on the spectrum.
But so there is always
love
like
on the spectrum.
The thing is like most people have their standards too high.
Okay,
right?
Here we go. Now we're potting.
Yeah. So most
Talk to me.
people over including us. Like we probably overestimate
Do we?
our. I mean, but it's gotten me success though. The overestimation sometimes because it brings you this sort of confidence to the table that it's like confidence. First of all, is the number one. You know, first out of my own experience, or even like my experience with other women who I initially wouldn't think I was attracted to, but then their confidence got me interested in them. Right.
That's absolutely true.
That's
That's
one
a
thing,
big thing.
right?
That's definitely a big
But
thing.
a lot of people are overconfident to the point that we shoot for the stars, right? But some people have it where they don't settle for less than that standard that they have, right? And I feel like a lot of the people that would participate in that show, you know, what would you call it?
Heavy love.
Heavy love. Okay, yeah, good. Okay, yeah, is they don't wanna. They think they deserve like, or they feel entitled to, like people that aren't the same as they are aesthetically. You know what I mean?
Here we're going.
And then
I see what.
On the other
I see
hand-
the energy you're on today.
why
Unfiltered.
you're putting
So you're telling me that it would. The problem is that the fat people would feel entitled to a skinny person.
yeah. Essentially. No, but a lot of them, but they're more like
I don't
this.
think
It's
that's the
kind
case.
of discriminatory in a way. Like you think like, oh, why do you think that all of us should be lumped in together, and you know, and we don't deserve to date anyone that is outside that category, outside
Well,
that weight class. You know, if you look at it.
Well, you do, but
Yeah, but
it's no
because
different
there
than-
is a lot
okay,
of
but
people
watch this
that
then.
are really into bigger people. A lot of people that aren't big. That's a whole fetish as well.
yeah. Okay.
So
But watch this. If you watch the dating shows you have now, they make sure to get fitness people, like all fit, like not even normal people, but like people with like abs and like that's who they cast.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, cast it the other way around. That's
So,
all I'm saying.
you
So you
say
could also
you have-
discriminate there. You can say, why do you assume that because I'm fit, I wouldn't be attracted to like a,
Yeah.
you know, you always have a problem.
Oh, you just need to do. Oh, you need to do one of those shows with a mixture, just like randomly cast it, and don't take.
Well, there's
Just
more
the
and more.
absolute
Like every fucking year they have a new dating shows with a new concept, and they're all very popular. So you had the Love on the Spectrum is also one where it's dating between people on the spectrum. You know what on the spectrum means?
Yeah. Okay.
You know what it means, right?
Yeah, but how do they?
So that's
how
what
do
that was
they
one. That was a big one.
morally do that. Like
They just put them there. Just put two people in a room, and then what's the
we're
I don't see
worried
the, I
about
don't
the
see the
things
moral
we say on this
problem.
podcast.
What's the moral problem?
Well,
What's the moral problem?
I guess
People
not.
on the spectrum also date. They date. They
Yeah,
need love too.
yeah.
Everybody needs love.
Yeah, but they could also date people that are not on the spectrum.
Ah, yeah. Well, you make a good point here. It's the same thing you were saying about it. Yeah.
Like overweight people can date people that aren't overweight if they're interested in them. Right.
That's
But
a good point.
I think that's where the thing would go wrong. But I mean,
maybe
I think,
that's your concept for that. A dating show where you have to date someone that is different from you, in terms of.
oh, or you're forced to date, like not forced because it's part of the show. Like, oh, you're just coupled with people for like several dates, and they couple you to open your mind more with people that you wouldn't necessarily be attracted to. And maybe so the matchmakers would do it in a way that personality-wise, these
just
people
fit-
match perfectly.
Personality, okay, but not physically.
Yeah, but not physically. So they'll match people that
Oh.
are, personality-wise or interest-wise, completely perfect for each other. But their attraction, like their physique, is the opposite of what they would be attracted to. Their physical appearances. That'd be interesting.
I don't know how that works because
Just thinking of myself, like,
personality.
would I
I
be-
find personality to be very important, and if you
Yeah.
don't look exactly like that makes me. How bad would you have to look for me to be like, nah, but I still can't? That's where I go.
Yeah, I mean,
How bad would you have to look to me?
it's difficult because for me, I don't have a type necessarily in terms of
I don't have
like
a
a
type
lot of
either.
people say I like blondes, I like that. No,
I don't have
Yeah,
a type
no.
either.
but I do know what is not my type, and I couldn't describe it. Like it's more I can physically see like I'm attracted to this person or not, but it doesn't matter what race they are, what color hair they have, or anything. Like
Height.
I can be attracted.
What about
to,
height?
Oh, height.
Height is a thing for
Yeah,
most,
it's different. I mean, I don't mind a girl being a bit taller than me. But no, she can't be like it's a turn off for me if they're towering over me.
if they can do this.
Right? If they can do that, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, there's fetishes for that, but people, I don't have that.
I don't.
I definitely don't have that. But no. there's none
I'll
of
take a
that.
tall girl. I'll do it.
But I'm thinking like, I'm thinking if the girls that I know that I find unattractive, but if they had the personality that would be perfect for me.
Well, it's also especially the other way around. There's plenty of girls that I've seen and know that are physically attractive, but as soon as they open their mouth, it's like,
There's a lot of those.
There's a lot of, like,
But that's where I know that I'm not
I'm
shallow.
not going to deal with this. I'm not going to deal with this.
That's where I know I'm not
Yeah,
that
exactly.
shallow, because I'm like, I've been like, you go to clubs and I'm talking to, and there was a lot of interest from this stunning girl, for example. And then she opens her mouth, and I'm turned off by the ideas that are even coming out.
What?
Especially the ideas. You know?
You said the ideas.
Oh, I'm like,
She
bro,
had
I don't
ideas?
even think I can get through this night if I would go home with you. Like,
But
this
she had
whole
ideas,
night.
though.
Yeah, I mean they're
'Cause there's a
rudimentary little.
Okay.
They're like what do
yeah,
they call
'cause you-
stick figures of ideas.
Okay,
Like,
there we
you know,
go.
That's
Okay,
what it is.
okay.
It's
'Cause
like
I
little
was gonna
sketches.
say, yeah, I was gonna say,
It's
you
like-
could have them.
Yeah,
the
I-
attitude is wrong, but the idea, the philosophy.
it's like when in second or third grade you thought your idea was the best idea ever. That would come up in your head and you would explain it to your parents like, hey, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, you know.
I love those. The ones that think that because I don't know, you have a certain level of education, they now have to have a political debate as well, and then they just start saying things where it's just like, bruh, it doesn't work like it doesn't work.
Actually, I'll tell you a very good pickup technique that
Here we
that you've witnessed,
only here on this podcast, guys.
You've witnessed this firsthand. Remember we did this. Let's omit names and everything again, because we did a project for a client,
Yeah.
and after the whole production, there's drinks, right?
Yeah, I got you.
And then we go and we went to the bar with a bunch of these people, and there was one attractive, tall girl actually. Then.
Yeah.
Everyone on the table was all these nerds and buckets, as you would call them.
Oh, yeah. The
And they're all
buckets.
like, they're all these like
shit,
right out
yeah.
of college people, and we're like production team, so we're with
cool.
them. We got to know them and everything. So we're like, we're not the out of college people, and they are all trying to solve the world issues together. And I you know those people that they,
Was she
they
that
get
tall?
together. They just got there. Yeah, and she's in a no, maybe if I give information. Whatever, she's in the military, right? She's a military.
Oh,
person,
she wasn't that tall. She wasn't that tall.
yeah.
But
No,
I
well,
remember.
well, I remember she was like my height, so to me that's like once you're my height.
I got it. Yeah, I know. I have it in front of me. I know. I remember.
So you can tell that she's like, and especially also, by the way, there's kind of a little bit of sexism there because the guys, it feels like they were sort of overlooking, or they weren't even interested in the girl's opinion. They were just arguing amongst each other. And in those situations, I like to, especially when you're in that sort of academic situation and there's an academic girl, you like, let these guys argue about the nonsense because you're not going to solve these issues. Let's be real. You're talking about, oh, I would do this and I would do that. And if I was in government, I would do this. And yeah, with no other information at hand, no government documents at hand, you know what decision to make,
you know what
But
you
they're
would-
all like, still, they like to play this game and like to argue, man.
Yeah.
Take her and start talking about, like, for example, she had a phone out. I'm like, so what is it, Tinder? And then they're like, no, it's not. Like, and then we end up talking about Tinder, and that's how you sort of sway the conversation into the dating way. At some point during the conversation, while these people were arguing about the world economics and how to fix the situation in Sudan, we're talking about threesomes.
Yeah, that's true. I remember
And that's
that.
how like it got personal. Like, you got the number and everything. It's like just sway the conversation to the other extreme of whatever is going on at the table. And fantastic. And the guy who was interested in her was like, chances over he realized it at that point. And like, because he wanted to, he was like going back like, so what do you think? Like, what do you think about the president now? What do you think about the prime minister now? She's like, wait, I'm way past that conversation. I'm actually interested. I'm having fun here.
But it's also just, it's like, ugh, I don't want to talk about that
Yeah, it's
in that context. It's just like, fam,
bro.
make a dick joke.
We've drank it. That's when that's definitely when you realize that everybody has that switch off button in them, and as much as they try to put out a certain face or act or dress for the job that you want, you know what I mean? Like there's that persona that just had this whole thing behind them. It was a political. I can't give information about the client,
No, you
but
can't.
it was very academic. And once that's all behind them, they're like, man, I'm ready to kick back. And you realize everyone has just their interests outside of that. You're not defined by your job or your, whatever direction of work you're going to. It's we all want to make dick jokes and talk about comedy or movies or pop culture or music, whatever, sports, which is actually what this podcast is mostly about.
Brilliant.
Anyway, what do we got? More
in the world of sports?
More on this doc.